start recording. Okay, hey everyone, welcome to part 9, I'm pretty sure, of my Let's Play Sunless Sea game. And so this week, in terms of gameplay aims, we are going to go back to the giant mushroom, the Untershroom, I think it's called, and we're going to get an item that we can go and take it up to the Fathom King. What we're going to be talking about other than that is it is the Trans Day of Visibility, and given that I'm under the non-binary umbrella, I put myself under the non-binary umbrella more than I would trans. I'll get to that in a bit. That's like a thing I've been thinking about. But yeah, so I'm gonna give a couple of things on that, and I might as well take a chance to talk about non-binary representation in gaming and well, other media as well. But we're playing a game from a company kind of famous for doing non-binary rep. So let's get started. So yeah, I think I've forgotten what I was going to say already. Jolly good, Matilda. Jolly good. Okay, I'm back in Vanderlight. So this is all... yeah, so this is all... at the top is all submarine stuff. The last tool operator is really fun, but I'd advise you do it with more stats than I have currently. Right. And that's a good point. Did I? No, I did not. Oh well. Choo choo. Right then, so it's been a kind of constant running theme in this playthrough of Sunless Sea, talking about, you know, how some characters don't have assigned gender, and you don't have to have one, so you can be mother, father, or captain. And so, rather infamously, the original free gender, famous/infamously, whatever, the original free gender options in Fallen London were like man, woman, or excuse me, there are people walking around London with the heads of squids, and you dare to ask me what gender I am? And then if you chose that, instead of saying sir or madam, people would just go, sir, madam, yes. That was later changed, because while it was funny, it wasn't... like, it was definitely a fun joke that I laughed at, but I preferred overall having, you know, the option to choose non-binary, actually choose non-binary stuff. I didn't mind it, like... it didn't really, you know, I wouldn't go get angry at it or anything, but it wasn't my favourite bit, let's say. Right, let's go to the start of Spectacled Admiral. Submit port. I mean, to be honest, I think probably the best thing would have done is to keep the joke, but then add other options. So I'm going to drop off the ports. Alright, I'm not going to do the high-risk fails challenge to convince people that the Shepherd Isle stuff is actually legit. They actually have other non-binary options now, which is good. So in particular, I am what's called agender, which means that I do not have. Basically, no one has explained to me what a. No one has explained to me in a way I understand what it means to have a gender in a way that I can apply to myself. Which sounds kind of weird, but there we are. And, this is not at all a universal thing. Like, I know people with very strong internal ideas of what it means to have a gender, but they're always very idiosyncratic, and I mean that in the most polite kind of formal way. They are personal ideas about gender, rather than. I'm not saying they're weird. I'm just saying they're not universal. Um, so being agender in particular is kind of a weird point on the in the terminology. It's kind of weird because what I've found is there's a lot of people who would be called cisgender, who get really confused when I say I'm agender because they're just like, well, isn't that normal? And no, it isn't. Like, I know lots of people. I know quite a few people with very strong internal ideas of gender who are what's called cis, which it means that basically it fits with, it fits with their assigned body. It's the opposite of trans. I'm just going to deliver some blemigans to this great cloak-clad figure. You have blemigans, it inquires hopefully, its voice is high, fluting. A scarf conceals its face. Your blemigans squirrel across the dock like Claude and Violet Fog, up into the greatcoat like squirrels into a shrub. Thank you for your flutes. We have something for you, and you want to have this, our work. Though it's unsigned, of course. It retreats into the dockside mist, leaving behind a dank odour, a packing crate, and some love poetry. So, that was a. If you want an explanation as to who that was a bunch of blemigans in a trench coat. They write poetry. I love blemigans. Ooh, parabola linen. So let's. The population is mainly in a kind of swamp just outside it. Parabola linen is created from. It's a fabric created from materials that only exist in the world of dreams. It makes really nice clothing. Sorry, somebody in the chat just posted question mark, and I don't know. I don't know what bit is referring to. It's like, what? Okay, so I'm going to buy a couple more foxfire candles. In fact, I think I might replace a thing of supplies with them. Because what I was thinking was, if we pop over to Godfall, so we go by the Salt Lions, Demure Island, maybe clear out this bit of Shadow, then to Godfall, then we can go south via Polypheum, probably stop over at, I'm sorry, Bat, I keep forgetting, probably stop at Khan Shadow to get some fuel, and then come back down and get to the other room, and then over to Fam King's Hold. I'm going to go backwards because right, officers. Right, let's replace the weasel with that, and let's do that. Okay. Right. So this is an engineer. This is a magician with a hook for a hand who works as an engineer. So Let's ask how it does it. A drained glass. He gestures carefully with his hook. This. It made Card's trick difficult, but we know about mechanisms and magicians. My speciality was mirrors, but they are a principle in common. It was a good start. I found I need to go to sea. Why? Because, Captain, someone owes me a hand. Once a friend, now an enemy. I'm looking for a weapon to use against them. If we find it, I may have a favour to ask you. So yeah. For that, we will want to buy some coffee beans. Right, who else is worth talking to? You are. Don't have what we need to do that. I'm not going to speak to you because I know what your plotline leads to. Your DLC stuff. You are... Right, let's talk to our signal room navigator. Invite him to dine with you. He has an admirable appetite for so slight a fellow. Second, then third, disappear in small, hasty morsels. He is nervous and not a gifted conversationalist. You do your best to plug the silence. When you ask about his past, he winces. I cannot say, Captain. This, he taps the livid signal on his temple, which twitches like a scorpion's sin, had burned away my memories. I recall I have a brother, but not his name or where he is. I remember names of the ships I served on, the implicit, the Bonnie Swan, but not their crew. How did he come by the signal? He clutches his head. I don't know. Thinking about it is like a fire in my skull. He grits his teeth. Someone must have hated me very much to curse me with it, but I can't even remember my enemy. Let's keep talking. Captain. My sleep is riddled with dream, Captain. Dreams of bells and candles. He paces the deck. I see a lonely house lit by tallow and wick. A bell is ringing. It rings now. Do you hear it? He scratches at his signal, which has begun to bleed. Do you know this place, Captain? Can I plot a course? A place of candles and bells, the chapel of lights, a northern church where no sin is too terrible. Let us speak, my captain, on the nature of edibility. Right then. We were sailing, the wind was on our side. I was going to repair my hull as well. Like, I actually remembered I needed to do that. I am doing well today. Anyway, as I was saying, sometime before this, so I am going to be, so yeah, I am agender, which is definitely under the non-binary umbrella, because non-binary refers to outside of outside of man and woman. However, I think, so if we do it in like a Venn diagram, because I like doing Venn diagrams, they're fun. So I think you kind of have the trans area and the cis area, and both of these are very blurry, like they're not very well defined. And then the agender kind of area kind of stretches between the two. because you can have people who are what you might call cis by default. What I was saying earlier about people who probably could call themselves agender, but still count themselves as cis because they have no reason not to. So I actually have quite bad body dysmorphia, which is unrelated to my gender, but it's very much a physical thing. Like, what the hell? Like sometimes I look in the mirror and just like, why the hell is there a guy? Why the hell is there someone male body there in the window? So that's why I think that's the bit that I think comes under the trans umbrella. The agender bit kind of puts me outside cis, but not trans. Which I don't think is a particularly bad... I don't think it's a very particularly bad position to be in. Like, there are certainly worse. Certainly worse? What am I talking about? Like, I'm not saying that as in, oh, you know, I don't want to be counted as trans, or, you know, oh, we're not quite good enough to be trans, or anything like that. It's more just, you know, gender and sexuality are tricky, and so, you know, it's a tricky system, so you're going to have lots of different bits in it. So the kind of just having some tea. The kind of words. This is really hard to do, just streaming while doing something completely different. You get distracted from both. But yeah, I think... So that's what I was going to say. So I am... So in my kind of day job, although not really job because I'm just a PhD student, I do study climate science, as I think I've said before. And obviously one of the big things there is models, because we can't do experimentation with we can't put the atmosphere in a lab. So you do a lot of work using models, and there's a famous quote from a statistician called George Box, which is, all models are wrong, but some are useful. And I think that applies to gender as well, because it's just like, most people's models only go as far as fitting themselves and the people they know in there. Yeah, most people's understanding of it go as far as fitting themselves and anyone else they have in there. They kind of fill it in as needed. And I think that's fine. You just have to be ready to kind of like... The model is descriptionist, not prescriptionist. Like, just because your model is different... just because your model isn't quite the same as others, it doesn't mean it's... just because your model is more simple or something, doesn't mean it's actually describing reality. Right, let's give them a hunting trophy. Oh, we got a load of stories. That's cool. Let's give them some more. Right, these stories in particular, obviously, probably use them to... They're useful. Let's see. So basically, we get a load... If we give this to them, we get a load of... bragging. So this one... one monk broke a albino Maori's neck, another one wasted a heptature, a third punched his way out of a bound shark, a fourth, and so on. You are largely forgotten, but there are notes in truth and all the tipsy boasting. Right, so let's get a port report. They're eager to tell you about their history. The stalactite, they assure you, one citadels of the starved men who dwell on the roof. When it fell, a few of its occupants survived to recover amongst progenitors. How does that work, you wonder, with their vows celibacy. They become vague and are suddenly eager to speak of the details of passing shipping. The brawling bearded men who live here call themselves monks. They pay lip service to Scintillack, which fell from the roof, but their chief interest seemed to be wine, blood, and shouting. Let's explore the shattered citadel. Before the satellite stalactite was a monastery. Before it ever fell from the roof, it was a citadel. The fall shattered it and killed its occupants, probably. Why don't you take a look? So this is why I stopped off and load of foxfire candles. So you need 5, I brung 10. Just to make sure I'm going to be okay. The monks have blocked the tunnels into the citadel. The starved men lived there, one said vaguely. They're all dead, of course, but you still wouldn't want to meet them. Still, there's a gap in the cellar wall that they keep meaning to fix. Move to a new area, the edge of the citadel. Ooh, spooky. Exploring the shattered citadel. All the earth is dark. The citadel is dark as only a once bright place can be. It's hung up there among the false stars, drowned in azure light for how long? Now it's here, so are you. Very bad things will happen if you run out of candles. So I can leave, or I can go deeper. Right. Oh dear, I failed. Go back, this isn't where you're meant to be. You've gone no deeper, but what is this? A black-jawed beast, mandibles slide wetly from a wall. That's easy. You had your eye on that curious projection. You push your sailor to the ground as the jaws close futilely overhead. Succeeded! Hooray! Right, let's try this again. Ah! Right. A labyrinth of dwelling galleries. You hear the Z. The passive branches opens into tangles of gallery on the surface of the skin of the surface. There are doors to dwelling places, all empty now, all leading into one another like cells of a honeycomb. Perhaps you can find your way through. You make your way through an asymmetrical foam of beehive dwellings, past faded frescoes of the sea seen from above, beneath scrags of cobweb where single soul spiders scuttle past a long mummified human corpse. Its limbs are curled and knotted like vines. What happened here? Right, let's try this again. Hey! I found my way in. Darkness coils. Oh. Right, let's go deeper. I am in the third tangle of tunnels. Right. Search for Church of the Starved Men. A cruciform chamber with a great outer, rows of rotting pews. Perhaps a window once held stained glass. The outer is dripstone, painstakingly carved into organic shapes. Jointed limbs, eyeballs, snapping claws, armoured excruciances. An inscription on the outer reads, "So are we shaped." The stonecraft is perfect, but the spelling seems eccentric. 2 stone knives rest on the surface. Along with a chunk of flint that might be a knife, a tool, or simply a chunk of rock. 3 human skulls wait in niche at the back. 2 have warped and lengthened jaws. The third has slumped and run like a melted candle that feels as solid as any bone to the touch. What now? You can press on, but the going will get harder from here, or you can turn back with your treasures. Let's keep going. Ah! A nasty moment. The tunnels coil like intestines. The stalactites seem to pulse through the beat of an unknown heart. I succeeded! The gases down here will maze the mind, convulse the spirit. Press on. Okay, I've got 4 left. Go deeper. Failed. You stumble into the heart of a geode. Quartz crystals twist the light and spangle it into your eyes. It's trying to outstare molten silver. Go carefully. Dazzled, you trip. A knife-like projection of crystal parts your peacock coat as if it was crepe paper. You lurch to the exit. Your crew helps you bandage it as best they may. Nasty cut, the bosun helpfully observed. A little to the left, it bled you like a Christmas pig. Oh, it succeeded. You graze your black of a hand against a sharp crystal. Blood blooms briefly. Okay, I have 2 candles left, and come on. You've reached the citadel's root. Okay, I succeeded. Just. The gate forms. Here in the floor, because of a stalactite's fall, is a gate of glittering chalcony, half lost beneath rubble, but thick enough to resist the most determined assault. Its surface is a relief to twisted limbs, distorted faces, screaming in glee. Carved, moulded, impossibly natural. A pit at its centre might be a key socket, or only a mouth. Okay, so I have an earlift needed to open it. Making an entrance. Perhaps once the gate was finally counterbalanced. Perhaps once hidden machineries would have roared at the touch of the airlift and the gate would have swung open like all glass. Now the airlift only triggers the unlocking mechanism. It takes 3 sailors with crowbars to move rubble and force the door down open, so that when you bring it free, it collapses inward with a echoing crash. Climb through a gap into a space that roars with wind. I have entered the citadel's root. Root gallery. You traverse half the length of a stalactite called Godfall from monastery to here. The starved men cut an enormous gallery around the whole root of the stalactite, leaving a vast central pillar to support its weight. In its day, the view must have been unrivaled. Remnants of salvaged glass and wood-eating houses. Viewing booth. Wooden eating houses, not wood-eating houses. Slight temples still cling to the edges, but the root has been shattered and the stalactite fell. Go a little closer, clamber carefully across the tiled surface of the gallery floor towards the shattered stump of a root. A dozen corpses, decades dry, lie at the stalagmite root. Stalagmite? You think there was a barricade here, but a fall has smashed it and its remnants have fallen to the sea. Were they defending the roots? Gunner Atkins grunts at the scorched and shattered rocks and nods widely. Gunpowder, he opines. Blew himself up. Killed the whole city. Starved men, huh? Alice heard they fight each other. Mad as toads. In the immemorial tradition of subterranean adventurers, you search the corpses. Well, it's not like they've been buried. The bones of the limbs and faces have been blurred and twisted like melted wax. You find trinkets, disgusting remnant chunks, and oh good god, yes, that's worth quite a bit. Worth a lot. Best not let your men see it. Nothing else remains here. Signal your ship with flares and sheer approach. You can scramble down and drop into the sea to be retrieved. Much safer than the tunnels of Godfall. Okay, so I've got 7 lamentable relics, an eyeless skull, another day nasty things in the dark quality is gone. So another day are kind of like counters, so they're kind of all... Sunless Sea is interesting in that a lot of the mechanics are actually on display, and another day are kind of... They're the invisible variables that most games would keep hidden from you. So it's just like, you know, saying the player's in this situation, so you do this. It's just that you get to see them all. An occurrence, you're uncovering mysteries for Shattered Citadel quality is now 2. 1 captivating treasure, 2 secrets, 7 lamentable relics, and an eyeless skull. Whew, that was a close one. I'm glad that worked out. You won't find much more of interest unless you have a particular reason to go back. I don't think I do. Right. Whew. So another playthrough, I've lost my entire crew in there. I'm actually going to go up to Port Cecil. Mainly because to do what I want to do, I think I need some Scintillacks. And that's the best place to get it. So we're going to head up there, then round, down to Khan's Shadow, possibly not by Nuncio, depending on how much fuel we have. Down there, to the Melting Isles, down to the Essex Room, then over to the Fathom King's Hold, and then Yeah, then I think I might... The problem is, it's the final... It's the final challenge of the Your Father's Bones thing that is going to give me trouble. And that is the Heart of a Legend one. So I think I'm going to need to do a bit of grinding before I'm ready to do that. Because that means taking on the Tree of Ages. So I think I'm going to need a better ship. I did not mean to press F. Yeah, sorry, the theme for Port Settle area is actually kind of louder than most areas. In before, friend. In before, fish friend. Stop. Right then, gather intelligence. Okay. So I've got quite a lot of secrets, so I'm going to boost my mirrors for a bit. I'm sorry, it's a pain. No, this is what you wanted, I think. He is eager to instruct you like a drowning man striking for air, but he struggles to put words to his understanding. Does the signal give him insights, or is it old learning he has failed to forget? So, mirrors, so the stat mirrors determine, I'm pretty sure I said this before, but, it determines your, how long your weapons take to kind of lock on. And the reason that this is important is that, theoretically, if you get it high enough, which I probably won't here, because I've got a lot of secrets, but not that many. So yeah, the Momentum Moray takes 3.4 seconds to charge. If you get your mirrors up high enough, it will take less than 2 seconds. This is important because it's got a 2-second long stagger ability. Anyway, so once again, I've forgotten to do what I actually went to the place to do. So I'm going to go and get some Scintillack. I'm sorry, I keep doing this today. I'm also curious as to see who's in the chat, so that's why I'm bringing up the viewer list. If it loads. Are you gonna load? No. Right. I'm gonna put some more secrets into it. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. So I'm gonna put 10 more secrets in. I'm going to take myself up to a natural total of... Thank you. Right then. Okay, a modest challenge. I'll take that. You has failed in challenge. Blake. Okay. I know I keep going off track, but I'm going to do something else. It's expensive, but I'm going to stock up on a bit of fuel here. Right then. Butcher it. A wooden corner show. Some kind of case or box isn't cased in a salty jelly. A coffin. You leave or open the lid, and a bandaged head stirs, turns. Already? Its voice creaks. I'm so tired. A tomb colonist, do you have space in your hold? um. Oh, I think we just ruined someone's retelling of Jonah. Yeah. Doze out. Right. So I may suddenly run away from what I'm doing here. But essentially the Chapel of Lights is here. Unfortunately, so is Mount Nomad, the most powerful enemy in the game. So basically, if I see Mount Nomad, I'm running. Because otherwise I'm dead. I might be still dead, but I'm going to try and get to the Chapel of Lights. For a couple of reasons. But we'll get into that in a bit. Okay. It is indeed the mountain that killed me last time. So, I'm going to use my Z-Bat to try and find where the island is. Okay, so... Right, that's where I'm going. God, this is tense. Okay, there's the chapel. There's a lifeberg up there, but I can take lifebergs. So mechanically, Mount Nomad is a lifeberg, but on steroids. I mean, if you know what Mount Nomad is descended from, you understand. She is also the Fathom King's niece. Eat of a fugitive faithful gather in the shadows between the many candles. A bell tolls in the chapel tower, cracked iron laughter. Beware, the aisle is full of voices. Eat of a chapel's bounty. Eat, but take nothing away with you. They have sharp steaks plucked from the sea, thin slices of cavern tuna, translucent and delicate as paper, little crimson seed favoured with cinnamon and covered with poppy seeds, tomatoes and possibly ripened sweet so far from the surface. Gorge yourself, leave with the juices dripping from your chin. Gather intelligence. What happens here between the light and the darkness? A smiling priest in a red cassock tends the chapel. The congregation of shy of light. They come and go in little ships, and it's strangely difficult to count them. It's perhaps some are imaginary. Still, you know the name of a ship or two. This is the place! Hark the bell! Your cigarette navigator races towards the chapel. You give chase. Within, the air is heavy and hushed. You enter to see your navigator shaking a smiling priest by the collar. He led me here. Tell me what this means. Look at it, look at it! The priest disentangled himself as politely as possible. I'm sure we can find a path to put you on, my friend. He is armed to signal with a professional air collector, but we'll need your help in return. Our stores are running low. If we cannot feed our congregation, our mission must end. Can you provide? The fresher the better. Your navigator has nothing. He pleads for your help. No, don't have that. Pay another price. The priest slips his arm around your shoulders. For you, a lesser payment. Post no guards on your ship tonight. Ask no questions. And in the morning, perhaps you'd like to join us for breakfast. A red and white smile. So this requires crew, and Menace is unaccountably peckish. I'm not going to do that. Anyway. Right. Fuck! That's Mount Nomad. Over there. Shit. Sleep when you're dead. You're hurt. Spend time in bed. It really is where you should be. Okay, I've lost my wound. Oof. Actually, I might as well go to while I'm here. So yeah, I managed to get away from Mount Nomad. Hooray! Right. Here's none have ever spoken truthfully of this place, the Pillared City. Right, compile a port. When you will write down to write report, you will recall it was written already. Who wrote it? Report records that it was already written when it was found. Who found it? Report describes another report, which will indicate the name of the finder. Where is the other report? There is a footnote which describes when you record its location. When will that be? When all is well, or all manner of thing is well. Rest, traveller. Our waters are warm, our cushions are petal soft. Yea, lay your head here. You'll be healed, or better yet, you'll be renewed. Payment in coffee? Yes, please. Right, so I've wandered into the Mirror Marches, which are basically they are the realm of dreams. Beneath the skin of dreams, behind the faces of mirrors, an orange sun sails in a further sky. Here are the borderlands of that place, close by and closer still to the house of the amber sky. And here you are in another place. The sun is warm on your uncovered head. Retrieve a serpent image. The jungle around you is rich with violently coloured flute, buzzing with insects and unseen life. There's something nestled in the mossy crook of a green leaf tree, a wooden serpent lacquered with black, red, and yellow. Its eyes are garnet flakes. Mind if I picked it up? The genial magician's asked. Was he with you when you lay down to sleep? Rarest fruit. In the further south, in the arms of God called Stone, a garden blooms. In ages past, birds stole the seeds from that garden. One bird hid here in the Mirror Marches. Perhaps you know the story. A weapon, perhaps. Humans rule the waking world, he tells you, more or less. And the Finger Kings rule most of this place. A long time ago, some rather careless people made these images to imprison Finger Kings. I am not so careless. I can use it to exact my revenge on the king that took my hand. He is gloating. He actually strokes his moustache with his hook. He returns to his cabin to investigate the serpent image, but emerges a day later, disappointed. Different geometries, he explains obscurely. Do you mind if we pop by the carnate? I can find someone there to help me work this one out. The pawn of Cart's heart to help magician further. So the magician has a good chance of creating the second best ending engine in the game, but more importantly, if you lose it, you can buy it again. So it makes a really good thing to give to the Fathom King. Okay. Right. None sells east from Irem. This shop is for those who sell east from Irem. So I can exchange captivating treasure for 50 fuel here, which isn't too bad. An element of dawn is super rare, so you don't want to don't exchange for 25 supplies unless you're really desperate. An Element of Dawn, I think, requires more supplies than that to get. We'll buy some strange catches for reasons that become hopefully apparent when we get down to the mushroom. Stock up on fuel and supplies, of course. And yeah. So you can actually buy secrets here. They're expensive, but it's a way of doing it. Okay, let's just sail on. Yeah, so basically the reason why allows you to buy so many things with allows you to buy things with coffee is because the residents of are so close by to the Finger Kings that if you it's dangerous for them to fall asleep too much. So they're basically just like, must drink coffee, must drink coffee. Coffee will keep me safe. Good times. The Azakoric Abyss. So I spent most of yesterday asleep, which I think is a sign that I needed it. But basically I had kind of insomnia in the night, so I didn't get much sleep there, but then I slept from like 11 AM to 6 PM, and then I went to bed about midnight and slept till about 10 AM this morning. So yeah, lots of sleep, feeling good. Which means I guess I visited Finger Kings a lot. It was in prep for this, you know, I was making sure everyone was in place for the stream, everyone knew their parts, stuff like that. Scuttering and chittering in the corners of the hold, pumped shapes on the deck rail, rats the air, emboldened with vermin. Here we are, McMaster's Haven. Right. We've kind of done everything that there is to do here, so I'm just going to get a port. It's one of the advantages of trying to do a more regular stream, you know. You can do stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep, I think I've said it before, but I'm trying to keep the stream at the same type. At the same time. Right, so I'm going back across to Port Cecil, because like I said, I'm trying to get some Scintillacks. Failed again. Did not see that friend coming. Examine it. I'm gonna use this meat. There we are. I like that the Fathom King is called Your Complexity. That's a cool name to give something like the Fathom King. Okay, so I'm just going to sail down to the Carnate. Although we do, we do have some romantic literature now with us, so it might be a good time to talk about romance in Sunless Sea. I don't know. I don't think I'd quite have the energy to do it. It's a fairly long topic and a fairly complicated one. I'm probably going to end up fighting these guys, so I might as well get started now. Hey guys! Oh, the Memento Mori. I'm not being an asshole, I'm taking advantage of your bag down in circle. Investigate for hold. Resupplies, not bad. So it is theoretically possible to take out enemy ships by wiping out their crew. But that's really difficult. Okay, I want to go to Khan's Heart. You see the line creates the fundamental element of cargo a lot. Didn't mean to press that. Okay, so we've put the engines on super path. Because of course we have. Right, there we are. Right, find help for the genial magician. Someone in Khan's Heart has what he needs. Hire informers, someone will know. Expensive, but... fuck it. The informers of a copper quarter by the docks peddle knowledge from all over the Sea. The only thing they won't sell are their real names. One who calls herself the Bright Bird introduces you and the magician to a wizened man in bright spider silk, a collector of looking glasses. The magician and the collector mutter together for a while. The collector wheezes with laughter. At last the magician returns, all eyes bright. All will be well, and all manner of things shall be well. I know where to go now. I know what I must do. Thank you, my friend. My revenge is almost within my grasp. He looks ruefully at his hook. So I need to go to the Forgotten Quarter. The remains of the four cities before. The one that used to be the Carnate. All will be well and all manner of things shall be well is a very, very common phrase in Sunless Sea and Full London. It's usually associated with but it's also related to the plotline of The Man in the Well. The other recurring line from the plotline of Man in the Well is a reckoning cannot be postponed indefinitely, which is such a fucking wonderful line. Just holy Jesus. Right, compilable for so many malcontents, so little time. Okay. So, gotta stock up on some supplies again. I kind of want to use that as like a protest thing for some climate stuff, because it's just like a reckoning cannot be postponed indefinitely. It fits really well. Okay, I think I actually need to do the bandaged Poissonier's storyline to actually do the Famine King's Hold. So yeah, we're going to be doing that now. So it's a good thing I've got. So this, of course, is why I got the strange catch. Yeah, definitely why. You know. I've planned this all along. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing some cooking. Right, bye Furiosa, it's time to visit the philosophers again. Yeah, I threw it over because I was just like, I don't really have anything to do with it because I can't get to... It can be used, but it would require me to do some more subplot stuff, and it's just taking up room in the hold. Ignore them. Lost some terror. Okay. Mango College. Eat, drink, and be merry. Let's see. Compile a port report. And then go beachcombing for a bit. Let's see. Remembrance of a shipwreck. What's washed up here? Oh, 11 fuel. Oh wow, I really can't hold that much. Whoopsie daisy. I had to throw it all overboard. Right, so yeah, next stop, the Ashes Room. And then, after visiting with the Famine King's Hold, then we're going to go down this way, back up to Fulham, London, and I think that'll probably be the session over. Right, so I was going to talk about non-binary rep in games in general. So probably the most obvious one, other than Fallen London and the other Failbetter Games, is actually Undertale. So according to the creator Toby Fox, basically Undertale, the main character in Undertale, is designed to be to have any to have the player's gender projected onto them. So all the characters use they to refer to them. I've got quite a lot I would want to talk about with the way Undertale plays with the whole like player and character divide in games. It's one of the few kind of games about gaming or movies about movies or, you know, whatever, that I can actually stand. I find very often the moment that someone starts talking about their chosen medium, you just end up with nonsense. You just end up with really pretentious bullshit. But anyway, so that doesn't apply for everyone. So I know somebody who's a guy who reads both of the human characters in Undertale, who this applies to as being female design. But other people read them as non-binary or male, and it's really interesting the way like even the gender of the character depends on the player. So that was also the intention, some of the intention of making Link quite an androgynous character in the Zelda games. Just because the aim was for as many people as possible to kind of I've heard it said that the aim was to have as many people as possible be able to relate to Link, even though they still use he to refer to him, which I think is a cool idea. And I think the thing is with Link is that like you could just go at the start, you could just have an option where it's just like, are you male or female? And then you can just choose like male, female, neither, both, whatever. I don't think that's going to happen because Nintendo in some ways is a very conservative company. But it would be interesting. So the other one that immediately springs to mind about non-binary representation in the player character side is actually Saints Row of all things. Just because none of the sliders in the later Saints Row games character creation is actually none of the sliders are actually like character lock. Okay, right, so I'll get to that in a minute, but I'll just do this. So Seagoer, here, Shroom has something for you. Fell long ago, best elsewhere now. So Rage Cinder. Sizzling. The Shroomer won't touch it with a bare skin. Wise, nor should you. It's scorched and twisted with fungus flesh it lies on. Its cosmogon glow has dyed the air around it. Mother of Mushrooms is grateful, explained to Shroomer. You've cast her far. She gives you a jewel. That's not the one I wanted, bugger. Okay, so first of all, we can trade strange catches for a live specimen. By the way, the Saints Row one also includes what voice actor you choose, which is cool. Okay, so it looks like bugger. So it looks like I'm going to need to sail around for a bit to get the something awaits you import quality again, so I can come back to the other room. I think I might have messed that up a bit. Sorry. So yeah, I actually think I'm going to call it there. So next time we are going to start doing the Bandaged Buccaneers quest in earnest. So we're going to eat a lot of silly things. Marvellous. So look forward to that. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.